feel sweet? Do you feel sweet? It's amazing. I have no skin and I feel everything. It's amazing. I feel good when you feel good. I knew I would. It's amazing. I've wanted this for so long. Now the deed has been done. We shall rise with the sun. Spend our time as one. Now there is no sin in anything. It's amazing. I hope you do too, 'cause I love everything. It's all amazing. I feel new. Do you feel new? I understand when they say we're born again, 'cause I've been born again. I'm born again. And it's amazing. It's the best thing. It's glorious. It's life-changing. This feeling is amazing. It's the best thing. It's glorious. It's life-changing. This feeling.
Welcome to the Saturday Night Live LUF Lounge, everybody. And we have got a fantastic lineup tonight. I've been really excited, really looking forward to tonight's Imagination Observatory. Lindsay, what is an Imagination Observatory? And take yourself off mute.
Good evening, Peter Yarwood. I'm Lindsay Jackson, lead volunteer in the North Red Rose Recovery, an advocate of the Lancashire User Forum, and I have absolutely no idea. And I have no idea at all. But I am excited. I'm very excited. Can I just? It's it's more exciting though, isn't it?
One outcome will be that by the end of tonight, you will know what an Imagination Observatory is.
Well, that's why I'm here. I want to know. I like. It's a late Christmas present for me, this, Peter. I do like surprises.
Well, I've got an ask.
Hopefully, it's a good one
for everyone, really. And that ask is, I'm looking. We've got 30 people who are in this space with us live now on Facebook. We know. The data tells us by the end of the week. I know, yeah. Hi, everyone. Chris is going to shout you out shortly, but we know by the end of the week, we will have at least 1,000 people who have viewed this space for more than I think it's 3 minutes, for more than 3 minutes. That's the average data. So what we're saying is tonight, let's try and push the boat out far and wide, because this is really going to make a difference. Not just to your life, but to your kids' life. And you know what? Let's think to your kids' lives. let's start to really push the boat out far and wide and explore what the future looks like. And let's speak to that, because the body follows where the mind takes it. So tonight we're going to take your mind to some wicked and wonderful places in this Imagination Observatory. Isn't that right, Paula Harriet?
It is indeed. Hello, everybody. Oh, I'm muted. Bloody heck.
You're not muted. We can hear you, Paula. Or we could hear you.
Could you hear me? Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
That's the new thing. Anyway, listen, I am too really excited about the Imagination Observatory, and Pete's asked me to come along today. So for those people that don't know me, my name's Paula Harriet, and I am a lived experience leader. I suppose I'm a person who's in recovery. I've been in recovery now since 2004. So, and before that had a really, I don't know, I don't even have to explain it, do I? Anybody who's on this call already knows what my life was like before 2004. But I got clean.
Yeah, tonight's about the future, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean? I don't even have to go there with a big, long, dramatic misery memoir about how awful it was. It was awful. That's it. But but since I've been like in recovery and working around user involvement, no, Pete and Emma, you know, I work more in prisons than I do in substance misuse, but you know, it all crosses over, doesn't it? But what I've come to realise in probably the last 6 months only, is that one thing that we're missing in our recovery is the ability to dream and to imagine what our lives could be like. Quite often, I even, you know, I'm guilty of this. I remember I told Pete earlier that I was always a person, you know, when people said to me, do you want to go out Friday night? And it was like Monday. I'd say, oh, I don't know. Because like to plan from Monday to Friday was like, felt like way too much commitment, way too much. Like I couldn't guarantee what's going to happen in the next 5 hours, let alone in the next 5 days. And I remember telling Pete earlier that just recently I booked a holiday, and I booked it like 4 months in advance. Not obviously not now because we can't go on holiday, but you know, when we were able to fly out last year, and thinking, wow, look how far I've come. I can actually plan things 4 months in advance and know that my life is in a stable enough place that that's probably going to happen. And then I thought, since then, I've had these thoughts about how do I dream what my life is going to be in the next 10 years? I'm coming up to a big birthday. This is also focusing my mind. I'm coming up to a big birthday, you know, one of those birthdays that you think, oh my God, I'm getting old. And I wanted to think, okay, how do I plan the next decade of my life? How do I plan the next 10 years of my life? What does the world look like in 10 years' time? Because the world in my lifetime has changed dramatically. I look at my grandkids now, I ask them to do things in terms of tech that I can't do. The world's changing really, really fast. And the world isn't changing really, really fast by accident. There's people in this world called futurist designers. They spend their life at Google and places like that, yeah, and Apple. And they're thinking all the time about the future. And they are planning the systems and the services of the future. They're getting ready for the future. And people like us, we're not getting ready for the future. So we'll always be behind the curve a little bit. We'll always be the people who are reacting, going, that's not right. We don't like that's why can't we be part of it? But we're not getting ready to be part of it in the way ahead in the future. And the way you get there is you learn to dream again. You learn the imagination. You learn to be like, you know, like kids when you just daydream, and kids when you just focus on what is it like down the line. And the lack of the imagination is also like, we're not fully healed if we don't start to imagine, and we won't be fully like able to influence services and influence decision makers if we're not planning what we want, the type of services we
Well, we
want.
asked you to tell us your name, you know, and that's it. It was like, that's
Ah!
just, whoa, what, have that. It's like, slow down a little bit, because there's...
I was just getting right into it. Anyway, my name's Paula, and we're here to talk about Imagination Observatory.
Seriously, your voice, honestly, your voice is like a powerful tranquilizer. It hypnotizes me and I just zone
I'm
in.
so sorry. Yeah, I'm Paula. We should introduce the rest of the panel. And the Imagination Observatory is an immersion. It's an immersion into imagination.
I was immersed there, Paula. I was in the right. Could you ring back when it's bedtime so I can get to sleep, Bridget?
Ooh. Who said they needed to get to bed? I'll ring. Tell them I'll text them next time.
That's great stuff.
In a good way. We do want to put a warning out, because we're going to wake you up. We're going to wake you up in a different way, though. Before we do, let's just get right into the introductions. So, Willie.
Hiya. Yeah, my name's Willie, and I come on the LUF in Red Rose for a couple of years now with Pete. I'm here to answer any questions. I dream as well.
Yeah.
Dreaming of a big yacht in the Caribbean.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Willie, you're my wing commander, and we are about to launch Willie's Wisdom. So
Willie's Wisdom for this week.
This is just a soundbite. So without further ado, just hang fire with us, guys, for just 10 seconds, because I'm going to drop some of Willie's wisdom into our world for a starter for 10, really. A starter for 10. And oh my word, when we get to this at another stage in I suppose our will have we'll have Willie's wisdom looking a lot different than this, but here it is for now.
Hiya, my name's Willie, and this is Willie's Wisdom. Time is an ocean that ends at the shore, meaning there's so much difficulties out there and so many problems. It's a massive thing, and you always come back to the shore where you're comfortable, where you feel warm. Today, I say to people that are struggling there in the community, use your people up, use your Red Rose, use your LUF. Get in contact with all these people on the phone, message them, because they'll chat to you, they'll see if you're okay. If you're still not better, get hold of a doctor or a mental health nurse at the hospital. And I just wish you all well. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
There you go. There's some wisdom from Willie.
Thanks, Willie.
Every week, Willie will be kicking it on a completely different level. And some people might just say, that's deep, talking about oceans and shores. We might have to get a little bit more of you next week to come back and expand on it, Willie. Are you okay for that?
Yeah. Yeah, well, sure am, Pete.
Before we go any further, I have got the equipment that is going to be winging its way to you very shortly, mate.
Wow.
Because we make sure we invest in our people. So
thanks, Pete.
That'll be coming to you very soon.
Right,
okay, Lindsay, who we're going to introduce next?
Well, we need to go over to see who's the voice at the waiting patiently there. Our lovely Chris, I think, don't we?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
right,
I'm Chris. I'm a volunteer for Red Rose Recovery. I've just had a bit of a moment on here. My big sister's on. So, yeah, it's great that you can share this space with me on my journey. Oh, thank you. I love you. Yeah, sorry. Just
So
give us a minute.
what are you going to be doing for us tonight,
Yeah,
Chris?
just give us a minute. It's just touch that you can be on this space with me, that's all. Yeah, what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be getting in your questions, and like we're saying, it's your imagination. This is your space, so put in what you think you're imagining for the future, what you want for the future, and get this shared as much as you can, because the more voices, the more imaginations, the more we can pull together and make a difference.
Thanks for that, Chris.
40 people watching, and we know that 50 is a round number. It's a big number. It's a significant number as well, 50. So we're going for 50. 40 is good as well. We like 40, but we want 50 people live in this space, because we're going to tell you what happens next. Who are we going to introduce, Chris?
We're going to introduce next. Chris.
Hi, thanks for that. Yeah, so my name's Chris Howarth. I am the founder of an addiction recovery program called Making Changes. In terms of my input into tonight, I was having a chat with Peter last night, and I was aware of what was coming up today. And in terms of the Imagination Observatory, all being around user involvement and service users taking control, I've actually studied a master's degree in comparative drug and alcohol studies, and one of the research papers that I wrote was called User Perspectives, where we looked at user involvement for those people that are going through methadone-assisted treatment. And so I felt that there's just some research there that could potentially add some insight into the benefits of user involvement. And in short, in most cases, user involvement equals empowerment. That's the shortest phrase that I can put on it. But if I can get an opportunity to do so, I've rifled through the research paper that I wrote 2 years ago. I've made some highlights, and I'll try and talk about the most important points that are in that paper that relate to.
Fire one out at us, Chris. Fire one of those out, what you've highlighted. See if we can get this number up to 50.
Right, okay. So let me just start at the introduction stage. Okay, so and I'll have to read this from the actual paper itself. I've made some notes, but just bear with me if it's slightly robotic. So the title of the program was called User Involvement, Empowerment in Methadone.
Jump right into it. We can't just jump right into it and pull out one that you think is important.
Okay, in its simplest form, user involvement sees people become actively involved in decisions relating to their personal treatment and service provision, and this is because, quote, by the very act of consuming, one is automatically seen as a user with a legitimate voice regarding the products of which one is a consumer. So this particular person who's done that research has likened methadone-assisted treatments the same way as you would consume a product, and therefore it's given them rights. So it's quite of a different take on it. They've then gone on to explain one of the objectives hoped to be achieved by user involvement is for the user to feel empowered, keyword, which can generally be seen as the means by which individuals, groups, or communities become able to control their circumstances, help themselves, and maximize the quality of their lives. And I think just on the paper that I've seen on the Imagination Observatory, that last statement fits perfectly with the goals of what are trying to be achieved by the Imagination Observatory. There's much, much more that I've written about in that. Peter, you know how much detail I can go into, but that's just kind of, one of the first things that I've highlighted. So it just shows the importance of user involvement.
That needs a whole show. It needs a whole, it's a piece of work, that, isn't it? That's a whole, full topic on its own. Lifting the lid off it now is just never going to do it justice, but it's the beginning of a beautiful relationship, Chris. Okay, I'm going to pick Hassan. Hassan, we go way back, don't we, Hassan?
Hiya. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me today. My name is Hassan. I'm a senior operation manager for Lancashire NHS, so cover Lancashire, South Cumbria NHS. Prior working here, I used to work in a drug and alcohol service for over 20 years, based in Blackburn, and I used to deliver a lot of training around substance misuse. And I think years back, that's where I met Peter Yarwood when early days with Red Rose Recovery and LUF was sorted, and that's the time I met you that years back. For me, looking at what just Chris has mentioned, service users involvement and the future. I was talking to Peter last week, I think it was, about what we as a trust could do. Because yes, I've come from the drug and alcohol services for years. Coming to mental health services, it's a total different service. But what was lacking for years back, if you ask anyone 10 years ago, what was the issues? And everyone will say, if you had a drug problem and mental health problem, you never knew where to go. You go to mental health service, go and get a substance misuse problem. If you had a substance misuse problem, go to mental health services. And it took years for us to understand that there is no wrong door. All the doors are right door. And we are getting there. Yeah. We are getting there. And there's a lot of work to do yet. And what I like for the future, that no one tomorrow says, I went to the wrong door. I went to the right door, doesn't matter what day it was. And that's my hope. So that's my future, and that's my aim. And I was talking to Chris, and Chris just mentioned that how important service users involvement is. And this is where I'm coming from. What I want to do, drive this forward, and this is my agenda, is sort of a dual diagnosis service users group, where we hear your voice, not my voice, where you tell us what to do, not I tell you what to do. And together, not me, myself, but together, we can make a change. And we get on the platform where we sit on NHS and tell our board that this is what's lacking. Yes, we've had it. It's like we all said, what's past has happened, but what Peter said, what we want for our generation to come is the change we're going to make in Lancashire, that we did something unique that the whole world could see and take an example. That's me.
Yes.
Yeah. Music to my ears, that.
Oh my God.
Great, that, wasn't it?
How about Prime Minister Hassan? Because that was great.
When I was going to come on, Peter asked me, are you a speaker? Well, I go, yes, I do a lot of speaking, but depending who the audience is.
Honestly.
We're also going to drill right down into your resources, or resources that are at your disposal, especially in terms of that big bus you've got. You've got a big bus, haven't you?
Yes, it's not a massive bus. People get surprised. Part of my role, just a bit of myself, I work for the trust. I manage two projects. One of the projects I manage is our recovery college, where we deliver free health or well-being training for anyone living in Lancashire or South Cumbria. So when I talk about health or well-being training, you got something around mental health, you got sleeping, you got anxiety courses, you got gardening courses, you got yoga, anything about health or well-being. And it's great for you guys, anyone, you, your family, your friends. Come on, at the moment, it's free. It's on Zoom, we use MS Team, not Zoom. So it's on MS Team. And it's great that you could spend an hour learning something new skill. So that's one part of the project which we manage. And I was saying to Peter the other day that a lot of our courses, what we want, our courses will co-produce and co-deliver with people who live experience. And I said before, I'm a trainer by trade. I've been doing this for 20 odd years. Put me in any training, I'll train for you. But it's not the same as you tell me, or someone who had lived experience with sleeping disorder, or someone had this lived experience with anxiety. That story is much better than I could tell you. I could tell you what it says in the book, and everyone could tell you that. But what you, or someone with lived experience will say, I can't say that. So we want people with lived experience come and tell us, you know what, you've got this bunch of training, which is great, but you missed this out. Can we support you? Let's do something together. This is about us working together, not me, Hassan, saying, let's do this, but you guys saying, Hassan, we need this. So that's one part.
If they can't get to you, you'll get to them.
Yes, and that's where Harry comes in. We've got a health and wellbeing vehicle called Harry, which is health, advice, recovery, resilience information. And our trust brought this vehicle 2 years back, exactly 2 years now. And the whole idea is we take out in the community, park up anywhere. So park up shopping mall, street corner, and anyone walking past, grab them. Talk about general health and well-being. If they can't talk to you, we'll come. If they don't come to us, we'll come to you. And when we started last year, just before the lockdown, first lockdown, we saw approximately 2,500 to 3,000 people. And just random people on the street, anyone. And you know, if I start telling you what I saw and the people I've met, you'll be shocked. I thought being in drug and alcohol services for years, I've seen everything, but it's more out there. That's only 1% or 10%. There is much more out there. And how we can reach those people is straight to say, yeah, we're here. But I've always, one thing I always believed, and I'm very passionate about this, there is no such thing as hard to reach people. Never. It's never has been, it's never will be. That's my ultimate. I don't care what people will be or not be, but I've always believed that. There's never ever been hard to reach people. It's hard to reach service because we might close at 5 o'clock, we won't work Saturday, we won't work Sunday. But it's never ever been hard to reach people. It's how we approach them. We will never understood them.
This is like a breath of fresh air to me, this, Pete. I don't know about you. I'm acutely aware that the feed has gone a little bit mad and that Chris is going to get way behind in his comments. Can I?
Yeah.
Can I just?
Well, there's a lot of love coming through for you, Hassan.
Shut this door because I can hear. Will you do us a coffee, mate?
Thanks for that, Peter.
Sugars. Yeah.
Anyway, Chris, over to you.
We've got Graham Legg. Hassan, please bring the bus to Lancaster. So, will you say you work in Blackburn? He's wanting you to bring the bus to Lancaster.
Our Harry bus, once we get back out of the new normal, we will go out anywhere in from South Cumbria, from Lakeland all the way down south, anywhere. Lancashire, anywhere. Where is this? Just before the lockdown, we were in Lancaster, in fact. We did some session on the Lancaster market. We've been to South Cumbria as well. When we were in South Cumbria just before the lockdown, we carried out about in one day 28 people's blood pressure check. We do that on Harry as well. So it's like it's a tool where you guys could come and say, right, we want to promote about health, about recovery, and let's take it to people. Why wait?
No, exactly.
I like the point, you know, about hard to reach services, because today we've got services opened up in Lancashire. They're not opened up delivering drug and alcohol treatment, but they give us their building. They open their resources to us to go and put on some training, some support. And I think more of that could and should happen, because that is not the definition of a hard to reach service. That is the definition of a service that's reaching out into the community and saying, look, we've got resources at our disposal and we want to facilitate you to use them. I just think that is a beautiful thing, you know, and we should talk more about
just going back, just before the lockdown, we were using, like in Preston, we were using the Harris Museum. In Blackburn, we were using community centres where we were delivering these courses from. Obviously, if you get back to new normal, whatever new normal is, and once we could see that face to face, we will be doing recovery college. So, Chris, your answer, yes, we'll go to Lancashire. Yes, if it goes back to normal, If we find a building, yes, we will go there. And Harry will be there regardless.
Yeah. You've got a lot of love. You've opened a lot of eyes and ears up. So I think everybody's agreeing with your sort of future rollout and your plan.
Well, I am after people anyway. So if you want to join the dual diagnosis group, let Peter know. He's got my email address, and let's get something rolling.
Yeah, I'd be certainly interested in that. Can I just have a shout out to our Emily? She's a grandma. She's just recently had a granddaughter, so that's a lovely thing. And she's on here supporting everybody and making my job easier as well. So,
Baby Lottie, she's called. She wasn't named
Lottie?
up until today. Lottie, yeah. Welcome to the world, baby Lottie.
She's beautiful. She's beautiful.
Oh, we've got the two Arthurs. Shout out to Arthur, my old mate Arthur Ward and his
Arthur
son
Ward,
Arthur.
yeah.
Last week they said, you know, we're putting down the cannabis and we're tapping into the support network, and they're still here this week. So, you know, massive respect to you guys. And we're in discussions around how we could, because we know the travelling community are a heavily stigmatised and under-resourced group of people who are hard in every sense of the word. But I don't think that term that Hassan used, hard to reach communities, is right. I think there's hard to reach services. I agree. And the travelling community, I think it's great to have you in this space with us guys. Julie, we have waited patiently to get around to you. We spoke on the phone the other day, and you know, it was like you really lit me up on fire and charged my batteries. And talk about kindred spirits. You're a force for good, you aren't you, Julie?
I hope so.
I hope so, Julie, because you've got Walter Lyon House on tenterhooks. Be sat there for 34 minutes waiting for you to speak now. Shout out to Walter Lyons.
Oh, I love you guys.
I'll get that in.
Walter Lyons, Calico, Graham. Yeah, they're all out there. But Pete, honestly, you know, this is full of love, this lounge. I'm feeling it. I really am. And Hassan, I want to be in your bus.
Oh yeah, all aboard the Hassan bus.
You know,
You're welcome. Anyone's welcome.
Nice one. Yeah, so I've not done out like this before, so squeeze me. This is new. This is a whole unknown new experience. But yeah, I'm going to go for it because I'm feeling the love. But anyway, yeah, so I'm Julie, Let's Be Friends. And you know what? Let's Be Friends is born out of pure imagination. So it's right, it's here. It's right in the mix in terms of our Imagination Observatory. And the reason it's born out of imagination is it's come from a group of individuals in Lancaster and Morecambe that have been involved in the homelessness lived experience group for quite a while now. So they've been dreaming big and dreaming grand, and they came up with this really new idea and they've made it into a reality. And I'm representing a Let's Be Friend family. I'm not representing me here. I'm representing 17, 18 other people. They're all here in my heart. They're in this love lounge with us. Because the idea has not come from me. It's come from individuals with lived experience. And what they recognised after working and after volunteering and after going through recovery and after being homeless and after feeling the pressure, the constant and strong pressure of homelessness and recovery, they realise that there's an absolutely different way of doing this. And I'm representing them here today, not myself, them. And what they've said is what we don't do is we don't support people enough. So people that have been homeless, that have been in and out of homelessness, been in and out of recovery. We don't support them enough. People need relationships. They need companionship. They need to feel the love.
Yeah.
They need it. They need a heartfelt relationship. So we're taking Let's Be Friends, which I'm now project coordinator of, only part-time, but I feel like I'm working way more than full-time, let's be honest. But we take individuals with lived experience that have felt it, that have done it, that have come through it, that have lived it, that have breathed it. And we give them the best quality training we can possibly give them. And we give them the best quality support we can possibly give them. And we help them to support others in our local communities. We help them to share the love. And we're feeling it right now in Lancaster and Morecambe. I've got to be honest, we're really feeling it. We're feeling the lockdown. We're feeling the sense of loneliness and isolation. We're really feeling it. And we're still able to go out there and deliver face to face and build those relationships and provide individuals with a teeny tiny little bit of friendship and help them on the journey. And do you know what? Is one of the unique selling points to Let's Be Friends is we actually choose to spend time with these individuals. We don't get paid to do it. We're under no professional or family obligation. We're choosing it. And it absolutely fundamentally matters. It makes such a massive difference that we are giving up our time and energy to show them a little bit of love, regardless of what they've done. I mean, all of our Let's Be Friend volunteers, all of our management committee, I'm the project coordinator. We've all got lived experience. All we're doing is sharing our love with the people that need it most.
We was talking the other night and you was explaining to me about, you know, people who are experiencing crisis and who've got trauma in their life. There's you used the word, there's like a payoff. And what we find is alongside that trauma and that crisis comes, will you just tell us, just explain what you taught?
What I said.
Yeah.
So what I said, I mean, I've got two hats. I've got another hat. I work as a psychotherapist and I'm qualified as a psychosynthesis psychotherapist, which is not a Western medical model. I've worked in the Western medical model. I've been a forensic psychologist for 15 years and I chose to leave the Western medical model. But what we see in psychosynthesis, what crisis can be a moment for us where we can actually be the most creative. When we're in the most crisis, we can be the most creative and we can actually see in that moment a different way of doing it. And there's a sweet spot. There's a little tiny window where when people are in crisis, we have to be there and we have to hold the hand and we have to support them to follow their own calling. Because in a moment, it'll be forgotten. You know, they'll go back out onto the street, or they'll find their old, you know, cohort of mates or whatever. They'll lose it. But in that moment, we can help them stay and hold on to that sweet spot.
No, isn't that a beautiful thought? I just have to warn you, Lindsay will start crying.
I already have. Do you know?
I'm there. I'm in it.
Do you know why? Because bear with me. I'll be all right. I used to go into Edward Street, which is the homeless shelter in Lancaster, every Monday, and I loved it. And because of COVID, we were stopped going in, and that's why I met Graham Legg, who was on here. And I got to know like lots of them by name, to the point where if I went into Lancaster, it was like, "Hey, Lindsay," and they'll be shouting across Lancaster city centre, and I loved it. But I had a favourite guy who I used to go and sit with, and and his name was Seamus Cuff, and weirdly enough, and I didn't know you were coming on, I've got his little rock here, and he painted his initials on, and he said, "I've painted that for you." And he was murdered a few months ago, and it's horrible. And it's just brought up a lot of stuff for me. At that connection I made with the guys in there was just amazing, and they were just used to get so shocked, and people used to look at you when I used to stop and sit and talk to them, was just awful, because I think they're just nice human beings. Like, why, and they would get moved on, they would start drinking or whatever, and I'm just like, you don't know their stories. You're like, you're just looking at them like there's some kind of something you've just scraped off the bottom of your shoe. And they were just, and I loved it, and I just miss being in there. So yeah, this sounds
like he was in a really sweet spot. He
was and I said, because when we start doing the next LUFs live, and I said, "Seamus, I'm going to take you on, and I want you to speak." And I was deadly serious. I said, "I'm taking you to the next one we do live." Obviously, that was last March or whatever time. And I said, "Next time we do a live LUF, I'm going to pick you up and I'm going to take you." And I said, "Would you come and speak?" And he said, "Absolutely, I will."
Brilliant.
Not going to happen, but
that's what we've got to do, aren't we? Because I think the system says, people like that are too broken, they're too vulnerable, they're not in a place to be able to contribute, and we know that's rubbish. We know it's utter rubbish. Giving them purpose and meaning will actually trigger off that journey, So, Julie, would you be able to create a bit of a space for us to get ready to delve into this? Because we've got 34 people with us now.
Can Chris just reel off some comments? It's just the comments. We've got
Chris.
There's thousands. If you can get through them, Chris, you're a better woman than me, because I can't keep up with them tonight.
I've tried my best, but I'm so interested in what's going on here. It's hard to keep my mind off it. I think Hassan just woke me up, and I'm in.
I know, I was a bit like that, and I looked at the feed, and it's gone absolutely crazy.
But yeah, there's a lot of love for what Julie's doing. There's one of the guys, is it Chris Stonebank?
Oh, he's an absolute legend.
Does a bit of volunteering, and he says that what he likes is he likes seeing people grow, and he says he's growing himself. Well, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. It's you've hit the nail on the head, Chris. It is about growth. Bev Webster, fantastic, Julie. Let's be friends. Want to see people grow in the communities.
There's a lady called Kathy Williams who's struggling to get in a rehab, and I'm hoping one of our lovely, amazing Red Rose team's going to jump on board and guide her into the right hands. She needs some help.
Glen Island, shout out for Willie.
Willie always gets the love.
Glen Island.
Willie always gets the love.
What we're going to do is at our time, we'll have a bit of time after the show, and we can go through all those comments and we can transcribe them and put them in a report, because this next this next segment where we enter into this imagination observatory, this space where we explore what a future looks like, what a better future looks like. We want to include people from the community, and that's not just, you know, the 30 people who are live with us here and now. We know over the space of a week there'll be over 1,000 people who view this for more than 3 minutes. We want to capture their comments as well, and we can transcribe that voice into the report. So, you know, if we miss some of your comments now, guys, we'll pick them up at a later time. So have we got any, are we all right to jump into this space? And Julie is gonna just,
I'm going to lead a meditation, but how long do you want it to be, Pete?
well, I think as long as it needs to be.
Okay, let's go.
We want to be aiming, I mean, it's 10 to 6 now, isn't it? And we want to be aiming to have this tidied up in an hour.
All right, so 10 minutes, is that good enough? Yeah, we'll aim for about that. Okay, let's just find a comfortable position, guys. So, you know, you need to feel the back of the chair if you can on your back. And if you're comfortable, close your eyes. Let's just zone out for a minute. And let's get really present with ourselves as opposed to each other. So feel your back supported on the chair. And if you can, have your feet firmly on the ground. And I want to take your attention to your breathing. In your belly, in the bottom of your belly. Just follow your breath, the rhythm of your breath. So you're really trying to take your attention inside and follow the rhythm of your breath. So as you pay attention to your breath, just let go of the noise of the LUF Lounge and the day that you might have had. And just allow yourself to be right here in the present moment. Give yourself permission to take space for yourself. Just listen to your breath and your breathing in and out, in and out. So whilst you're breathing, pay attention to your body, all of your body. Check how you're feeling in your body. Become aware of any tension, aches, pains. No need to change anything or fix anything. We're just accepting how our body feels right now. Acknowledge how you're feeling in your body. And just say to yourself, I have a body. I am not my body. I am more than my body. So take your attention into your feelings into your heart. Just check how you're feeling right now. You might be feeling excited, anxious. Just accept how you're feeling. We're not trying to change anything or fix it. Just see if you can name how you're feeling. And as you become aware of your feelings, we can say to ourselves, I have feelings. I am not my feelings. I am way more than my feelings. Now take your attention into your mind and your thoughts. Just observe what thoughts are running around in your head. It could be really busy. It could be quite chilled. Just accept what's coming up and what thoughts are flowing through your mind right now. We're not trying to change or fix anything. We're just accepting who we are right now. And as we notice our thoughts, we can say to ourselves, I have thoughts. I have lots and lots and lots of thoughts. I am not my thoughts. I am more than my thoughts. So now we're going to take a couple of really deep breaths and just go a little bit deeper. Just drop down a little bit deeper and just sit for a minute and reflect on imagination. And what our future might look like without any limitation, without any rules, without any restriction. Just sit with that for a minute. Feel into it. Trust, trust, trust what comes up. Anything is possible. Anything. There's no right or wrong answers. We can just simply trust what comes up for us. Okay, in your own time, come back into the space if you've not fallen asleep. Willie? You were nodding.
That's beautiful, Julie.
It's a bit weird doing it on Zoom, I tell you that.
I know.
I'm a face-to-face kind of girl.
I'll go to sleep then.
Thought I had snoring, Willie.
Trust what comes up. Anything's possible.
It is. Anything is.
What we've done there, we've opened up a creative space to think about, and we know the body follows where the mind goes. If we can, you know, as a single consciousness, start to think about a world that, you know, with no wrong thoughts. There's not a wrong thought. It's not about, you know, oh, that's silly, or let's just explore, you know, ideas about a future, a beautiful future for our kids, for our great grandchildren. You know, what would that look like? And I don't want to go into, you know, some of the traumatic experiences of being stigmatized, being spoken to like dirt, being treated like dirt. This is the space to get creative about what's good and true and beautiful. So, you know, for me, I started to think about a world in which money is a different concept. You know, wealth is a different concept, and it's not about grabbing as much as you can and holding it to yourself, but it is about distributing wealth. It is about distributing resources in a fairer way, but also rewarding, you know, people. Also, you know, I think when it comes to our health and well-being, I would want to make decisions about who was working with me, you know, and I would want to be able to make decisions about who wasn't working with me, you know, and that's probably got something to do with how I see the world, because I've not had a lot of choice, and it's like I've got to notice myself. I'm going into what I've not had. So what an imagination for me of the future would be, where I had access to credits, and I could spend them credits on my health and well-being, and I could choose where to spend them. You know, I could choose which dentist I wanted to go to, or I could choose which mental health worker I wanted to go to. I could interview them and say, you know, I don't think it's going to be a productive session, so, you know, I'd like to work with this person. It'd certainly start to address the power imbalance that people talk about as a reality, what we've got currently. So for me, it would be a world where I'm more in control about what happens to me, and at every stage I'm encouraged to do that, and I'm in touch with other people, connected to other people, and you know, if there's things that aren't working so well, that I get to look at them, but I'm motivated to do it in a way where it's not just about me, it's about the betterment of the society I live in. So what I do know is, if I'm not part of a society, I'm not motivated to do anything for it, you know. But once I am part of it, once I do feel I've got a stake in it, then I'm more likely to want to have a say in how it runs. But I think in this world we would look for systems that disempower people, that make people small. We'd look for, you know, we'd want seek to identify the root of of some of these systems? What's it about? You know, is it about controlling somebody? Does the future in 2 generations from now look like we don't have a voice and everything's autonomous, and you know, we don't get to make decisions? What does it look like?
I think if I can jump in there, Peter. I probably neglected to mention earlier, although I mentioned my master's degree, I am also a recovering alcoholic of 7 years, so I've got the lived experience as well. And one thing that I did learn as part of that degree is that policies are made and put in place, but in practice, they don't work. And they're aimed at helping service users or people that are part of programs, but actually on a lot of occasions they don't take effect. So in terms of your point about how we can potentially shape the future, unless we can influence something at a major policy level, it might be that we have to look at our own recovery programs locally, who we're working with together, and by ourselves introduce that user involvement that we're talking about, and almost take it upon ourselves to do it, rather than it being driven by people who work in social policy and civil servants. Because I know I've read academic papers, for example, where people who are high up in the alcohol industry, key stakeholders who will cozy up to civil servants and policy makers, whereby they're supposed to be making laws that have a public health meaning, but in actual fact, they never do. And that's the battle the likes of us are up against. And so we almost have to take it upon ourselves to come up with our own initiatives as part of our own programs to ensure that user involvement and that empathetic view that we've all been talking about.
I'm glad I'm recording this because I can go back and just double check. Am I hearing from you then? We, in this future, we would be able to get close to decision makers. We would be able to influence the decisions they make. And, you know, I mean, sometimes knowing who they are is like the first step. I think some people don't know that they're on this treadmill and that there's, you know, a system in place where they can have a voice and be heard. You know, so the first thing is to sound the horn, to say, collectively, let's mobilise, let's come together, and then, you know, start to agree, you know, find agreement from within our community, and then look at identifying who those people are and seek to make representations. So what are them representations? What do we want to... and thanks for that, Chris. I love the way you think, you know, and the way you articulate your thoughts. I just foresee some great relationships, some great connections forming already as an outcome.
Yeah, I do remember the first part of my degree, we did it with three other European countries, one of them being Spain. And we had a lecture from a Spanish doctor. It was a university teaching hospital. He was a clinician, and he had been campaigning for 20 years to ensure that people could go to their hospital to get rehabilitation treatment for alcohol and drugs. Now, this was done regionally, but in effect, it was in that many regions that you could almost class it as nationwide. And it really resonated with me. And it was one of the main reasons why I decided to start the program of making changes, because I realised that I had difficulties getting access through my GP and NHS services and things like that. And one of the key questions that I asked him is, how did you do this? And his response was, via a translator, you need to make friends with MPs. now that's easier said than done. Now what I'm saying is that, you know, that's one way of doing it, but I do also think that we're all involved in recovery centres, you know, services that are available, and we can almost take it on ourselves to enable that user involvement, that service user involvement that we've been talking about, regardless of whether it's policy or not. We can make our own policies up and decide it amongst ourselves. If it can be done at a policy level nationally, which I think will be difficult, well then great. And in practice, as I've alluded to earlier, would it work? But for example, in my programme, Making Changes, the article that I read a bit about before, which was about user involvement, even though it was in relation to methadone assisted treatment, that user involvement will be an absolute key ethos to my programme Making Changes, where I will be talking to people who go through the programme to get their feedback on what's working, what's not working, how things can be improved, and they will have a say-so with a view to them feeling empowered, feeling human, and feeling part of the programme, and that they've got a voice where perhaps that's lacking, you know, in some of the treatment services. So what I've learned from my experience in that particular assignment that I did is that I'm taking it into my own programme as well.
Oh, come on. What's happened here?
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, mate. So, start locally. Don't despise, you know.
Pete, you've gone a bit quiet. Have you
Okay.
turned the volume down?
How's that?
That's a bit better. I thought you were still in meditation mode. You went quite quiet.
Yeah. Okay, so
Sent him to sleep, Julie.
Oh, good stuff.
yeah, let's shake it up a little bit. So don't despise humble beginnings. Start off small, and small's okay. Be consistent, be committed. Start locally.
So we don't just storm Downing Street then. That was just my idea. I'm an activist. You know what I mean? We'll just go straight.
Go for it.
Just an idea.
Can I just share with you my vision for the future? We had our meeting, I had to think about it, and my vision for the future is promoting that well-being stuff. You know, like we brush our teeth every day, like it's a natural thing, because we promote it in children to brush their teeth, to eat healthy, to exercise. But nobody tells us to train this, you know, and it's important. It's an important organ in our body, and yeah, educate the world and make it a thing. Make it a thing, just like it's nothing. Like it's nothing. Like it's just what you do. Just like you brush your teeth, like you wash your face. And that's my vision for the future, that we put this mental well-being into the world, into our children, into our society. And I think that will make great changes.
Yeah, Chris.
Get rid of the stigma.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's what we need to do. Get rid of the stigma of mental health and addiction.
I think there are more and more, whether it's primary or secondary schools, that are introducing things like meditation. But I don't know what type of schools they are, whether they are the ones that are more from an affluent background, as opposed to your schools that might be, you know, I went to a school, I was born up, you know, brought up on a council estate. If you brought up meditation in the school I was in, we wouldn't have done it, but perhaps in other schools. But I do think it's on the agenda of some schools, and I think it's absolutely right. I mean, I would have got a lot more out of meditation when I was going through my problems age 14 to 16, potentially, looking at my own mental health, rather than looking at it at the age of 32, which is when I started looking at it. So looking at it at the age of 14, 15, absolutely should be part of the curriculum, I think. You're absolutely right, Chris.
If anyone's familiar with the 5 ways of well-being, we use it quite a lot. But what a tool would that be to sit down with teenage kids as a family once a week and just go through them 5 ways, and that's what everybody's doing, and whether they're connecting, whether they're being active, and just checking in on each other. You know, it's...
Hassan's itching to get to come in there. I can tell he's waving his pen.
Yeah, can you see me? I'm talking. Number one, Chris, your point about education, totally agree. My background's been training for years, and I firmly believe on that. And education is must to tackle stigma. And Chris, what you mentioned about mental health, at the moment, one of my colleagues called Sam Tyler is a nurse and very young, and he also shares his personal story. I will try to send you a link later on. He, every day, every week, once a week, he does a family hour where he talks about mental health and people. And his personal story, again, reflects on what he does. And it's really good. And I think what I believe is people have not gone wrong. It's the system has let the people down. And what Chris has mentioned, that how could we change this? And if you go back years ago, and still what we have in the UK is we see drug as a criminal activity. So you use drugs, you get caught, you end up in prison. The only way to change that is if you go and see what happened in Portugal. Classic example, which always been given for years and years. See it as a health issue, don't see it as a crime issue. Automatically see it as a health issue, people won't see that as a stigma. People will see that as a health problem. You won't see anyone who's got diabetes and we say, oh, he's got diabetes there, or someone's got blood pressure, oh, he's got blood pressure there. Why? Because we see it as a health. Until we don't see it as a health, we'll always see it as a crime. When we see it as a crime, the stigma goes behind it. Would it be mental health? Would it be substance misuse, especially with substance misuse? Because it's a stigma. Until you don't tackle the stigma.
The idea you're somehow involved in deviant behaviour, thereby you've brought it on yourself and you deserve it.
Sure, fault.
You know
what, with me, it was like I was always I was in a long-term relationship before I entered rehab, 18 and a half years, and my partner at the time was like, if you loved your children, you would stop drinking. If you know what I mean? And it was somehow like it was a choice. I was choosing to drink, and I wasn't choosing. I would have given the world to stop once that had got that grip, and I did, obviously, and I'm over 2 years sober. But it's just like it's somehow it's a choice. You've picked that drink up, or you've picked that drug up, and it's somehow your decision to be this person. Well, anybody who's fought addiction knows it's the worst thing. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. It's horrendous. It's a horrible
it is an illness,
disease, or whatever you want to call it.
It is. It's an illness, and it needs to be treated.
Yeah. Do you know what? Can I just say something? You know, my vision for the future is, because I agree with Hassan, is that we should that in the future nobody will go to prison for drugs. I went to prison. I got 8 years for drugs. Yeah, but you know what I want as well is that everybody who has been to prison, who's got a conviction for drugs, that record's totally cleared, so that we don't have to carry that with us for the rest of our lives. I'd really want that, somebody to come to me and say, you know what, Paula, we've decriminalised drugs now. We're really sorry that you got that 8 years, yeah. And you know what, we're going to actually pay you compensation for having done that to you and to your kids and to your family. You know, like when now you have people talking about reparations, yeah. I'd want the government to make reparations to me for what it put me through by criminalising me for my addiction. That's what I find in my imagination.
In my imagination, and it's piggybacking, it's stealing some of what other people have already said, because it's a process of evolution. But in my imagination, and I'm speaking for myself, these are my own words, as opposed to let's be friends, is I would like to eradicate labels. You are this, and you are that, and you are this, and you are that. Because if I am a label, I am not my own unique, beautiful self. And I'd rather be my own unique, beautiful self, the good and the ugly. I'm happy to take it all on. I'm happy to embrace it all. I'm happy to be good, bad, and ugly. I just want to be my own unique self. Thank you very much. And I don't want to fit into your freaking box.
Mm.
Yeah, because when you label somebody, they start acting to that label, don't they? They start being that
Absolutely.
label. Oh,
I know some people who have been labelled as stupid because they haven't got what society has said is our idea of intelligence, and we're going to measure it this way. So they've been measured according to a specific scale, and they've been told they're unintelligent, who have worked out, if I get this label, that means I get this support, and have just set about manfully and purposefully getting as many labels as they can because they've needed to have their needs met, and they've navigated the system not in a pro-social way, not being part of it, but they've they've achieved their objectives, but it's not born the type of fruit that we know they can bear if somebody had just tweaked their motivation. For instance, we wouldn't have in this future we would not have young 16, 17 18-year-old teenagers who were getting on trains and driving from one county to another, setting up distribution and drug networks. They would be using them skills and abilities in a different way. Because they are skills and abilities, it's just somehow there's either some trauma in their past or there's a lack of good male role models or good female role models in this beautiful future, this imaginary observatory. Those people would be identified, those skills they have would be cultivated, and they would be supported to use them in a systematic way, and the system would wrap around them as opposed to making them wrap around a system that they're just bucking against.
I've got a really good example. As an individual, as a human being, I've got some amazing qualities. I can feel love. I know what truth is. I know what honesty is. I know what joy is. I know what guilt, shame, and all the rest of it is. There's a whole range of qualities, but there's a lot of people in this world that just see me through a label, not for my qualities that I have as a human being.
Well, for me, in this world, and I know I'm imagining a lot of it, but I want others to imagine, it would be, when somebody commits harm and they unconsciously commit it and they're unaware of what they're doing is causing harm, there would be a way in which um, our community would wrap round them and just show them a better way.
Absolutely, yeah.
We wouldn't walk past them, or we wouldn't, kick their head in. We wouldn't like. We wouldn't compound that by, making things worse. Now You know, it's like you've just engaged in some harmful behaviour, and because you've engaged in that, all these people are going to suffer, and we're going to tell all these people who are suffering because of your behaviour that you've done it, and thereby you were even further marginalised, you were even further stigmatised. We wouldn't do that. We would grab a hold of them people and shower them with love and say, you know what, there's somebody who's got skills and abilities but is unconsciously hurting people. We're gonna reprogram them in a way that energy is put to use for good.
Just doing a bit of self-promotion.
Right on the topic though, Lind, isn't it? Tell us a bit about it.
Right, it's coming soon. This is the tagline for my new company. Okay.
Oh.
This is my clothing brand, which is up and coming. It's not out there yet, but it's getting there. So MHMAR, it's called. Mental Health and Addiction. Be the master of your own addiction. This is the puppeteer. The tagline is hope, not stigma. Coming soon, people. This is how passionate I am about it. This stigma. So it will be promoted on here soon. So yeah, that stigma, that thing, it just gets me right there. So I just sort of jumped that in. Yeah.
Right,
everyone's going to be wearing them
right there though, Lindsay, because people go, oh, look at him, he's an addict. Nobody says, look at him, he's arthritic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, so that it needs to go, that stigma just, and that'll
I'll be proud. My 18-year-old son wears this, and he's a county rugby player, and his mates say, wow, that's a good top, what's that about? And he tells them, this is my mum, and this is what she is, and this is how, and he's proud as punch of me, and that means the world to me. So anyway,
good love.
Because it goes back to education. Until we don't start early age, we're not going to solve. We have to do the education, or else the stigma regarding mental health, stigma regarding substance misuse will always be there. Until we openly discuss this in every possible way. But you know, it should be normal. Like people talk about diabetes, you know, people talk about arthritis, people talk about other illnesses. We should be open about it and be open about this. And even going to GP, we should be ashamed to say to our GP, I've got mental health issue.
Yeah, I said this. I had this with my GP who got me my help, and it was like when someone says I've got cancer, I've been diagnosed with, everyone's like, oh, that's awful, that's how awful for you. If someone says, well, I'm an addict, you don't get that, oh, you poor thing. It's just like, well, that's your fault. Somehow it's not your fault that you've got cancer, it's not my fault that I'm an addict. It's just you've took whatever path you've took, it's the wrong path, and unfortunately we're just not wired up the same. I don't think. I'm not quite sure what the answers are. I haven't got any. I just know my journey and my recovery as it is now. And I just love for other people to experience it and see that there is a hope at the other side. That's why I do what I do now.
For me, I think a lot of it comes back to what Julie was saying before, and I've learned a lot over the last 7 years, where initially I would attend AA meetings, and as we all know, it's my name's Chris and I'm an alcoholic, and that is a label. Now, when I did my degree, I was penalised in a piece of coursework for referring to myself as an alcoholic. I did put the point across that for many alcoholics across the world, they tell themselves that they're an alcoholic because it reminds themselves on a daily basis of what they are. And so perhaps they were too quick to make a judgment of that stigmatization. But further down the line now, I class myself, you mentioned lots of characteristics there, Julie, in terms of things like compassion, empathy, kindness, honesty, integrity. All these things are what I describe myself by, and they all fall under a banner, for me anyway, of living a spiritual way of life. And so I class myself more as a spiritual person as necessarily an alcoholic. An alcoholic is one aspect of my personality, but it doesn't define who I am.
Doesn't define me as a
I am not an alcoholic and that's it. I am many, many things. And, you know, an alcoholic is one of those things. And there's many other things that I am as well. And many of those things are positive. But that's come with learning. You know, at the initial stages, especially at AA meetings, it was, my name's Chris and I'm an alcoholic, and I was labelled, and that's all I thought I was. It's only through learned experience of my own journey where I've grown confident enough to say now I'm many more things than that, and I'm confident in being able to do so.
Oh, Chris, music to my ears, because I don't know if you did the meditation, but in the meditation we say...
I did it, and I do a lot of meditation. I love it.
I have thoughts and I am not my thoughts. So it's going beyond, you know, our thoughts, our body, mind and feelings. Our body, mind and feelings help us exist in this world. Of course they do. We need them. But we are more than that. And that's exactly what you've said. So thank you.
Yeah, I guess another extreme example of that is I've had some serious stomach pains recently, where I've been undergoing some examinations where they've been looking at my pancreas, you know, colonoscopy, all these different types of things. 3 or 4 years ago, even in sobriety, I would have been panicking, worrying, sleepless nights. Now I almost see it as that's my body. I'm not separate to my body, but spiritually I am who I am, and that side of it will be what it will be, and I will take care of it, whatever it will be. And that comes with growth, and it comes with patience, and it comes with knowledge and wisdom. It doesn't come in your first 6 months, it doesn't come in your first year, unless you're lucky. For me, I'm just at a point now where I'm able to deal with it in that particular way.
Thank you.
I would like to walk into places that are designed to improve your well-being and have an experience that's consistent, and something like, because if you and there's, I'm going to drop this in now, Goethe, it's an 18th century philosopher. He says, treat a man as you find him and you make him worse, but treat him as if he already were what he potentially could be, and he'll become what he should be. Now, if you say something to me, I've been conditioned to match, is what you're saying aligning to what you're doing? Are you congruent? You know, and I can hone in on that. So if you're just, you know, going through the rigmarole, if you're just giving the patter, but you don't genuinely feel that, I'll know. You know, and if I know intuitively I'm in a bad place, and you're just saying to me that I'm a beautiful human being, but you don't believe it, I'll know. If you, you know, saying you're a beautiful human being and you're full of goodness, and you know, but you don't believe that, you think, "Ooh, you smell and I can't wait to get out of the door." I know that, and you know, it'll be really hard to build rapport with me. What I mean by a consistent experience is when I go into a service that is there to help my well-being, that it's the norm to have an experience that makes me feel uncomfortable, but uncomfortable in a good way, because it's challenging my perception of, I've been conditioned to think I'm stupid, or I'm a dirty drug addict, or an alcoholic, or I'm a prisoner, I'm a scum of the earth. And you know, it's like, I know that because that's how I get treated. when I come into a service, I would expect in my imagination observatory for everybody in that service to be on the same page and treat me as if I already were what I potentially could be. Now I know there is people like that out there because I surround myself with them. They treat you as if you are your best self, you know, and they speak to that what isn't as though it is. You know, in other words, they're congruent. You know, they love people and they speak power into their world. And I just think that'd be a great place to bring up your children when, you know, words of what they can do and what they're going to do and how awesome they're going to be are spoken over them from an early age so that they know, you know, there's no doubt in their mind that they were built for good. You know, they can overcome. They are so much more powerful than what they can ever realize. And it's designed into them, unique. That would be my best beautiful world.
That reminds me of something Frank Skinner I heard him once say, who's an alcoholic or recovering alcoholic, whatever you want to label him, if you want to label him. But I think his partner doesn't drink either. And he said the best gift that you can ever give children is two parents that don't drink.
I love Frank Skinner. He's about 30 years sober now, I think, Frank.
Yeah. So for him, that, I mean, you know, that totally makes sense. I'm sure other people do a fantastic job, even if they drink. But I can see the beauty behind what he's saying there, especially if he's implementing those sort of philosophies that you've been talking about there, Peter, as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the imaginings that we've got are beyond reach. I think, you know, we, even if we start off small and say, you know, as a community, this is what, you know, that saying, I'm going to look after my side of the fence, and I'm not going to be focusing on what's going on in the next. I'm just going to keep my side, you know, and build it from there. Thanks, Chris. Chris said that's beautiful, Peter. Thank you, mate. I'll have a bit more of that. Even though sometimes when people say good things, I'm not as quick to bat it off today as I used to be. But I'm not used to being complimented. I'm much more used to hearing something negative said about me, and that just says something about the system that I've been exposed to for so long.
You're a great person, Pete. You're a great person, and you've took me all the way, mate.
Thank you, Willie.
I'm well because of you. The things you've done for me.
Oh,
isn't Willie a sweetie?
Thank you, Willie. There was a statement. I put it on Facebook, and I only heard the first part of it, and it was like, I think it was somewhat along the lines of, you know, not a lot of people like you, but I think you're great and awesome. It was like, I only heard the first part of it, the negative part, you know, but the intention was to say something good to me, but I just held on to that one little negative part. And I don't know, is there something about the way we are programmed to hold on to that which isn't good and true? I don't know. I don't know.
But that is good and true, though, Peter. That's the goodness and the truthfulness of it. because some of it for me is about, you know, seeing beyond the symptoms, seeing beyond how people present, and seeing, you know, the truth and the core of who people are, which is goodness and light and love and honesty and all those beautiful things. All the symptoms get in the way of that. And if we can like put our glasses on and we can see beyond, you know, I see you. I see
Well,
you.
I can see zero without them, Julie. Absolutely. I've got contact lenses and glasses on. That's how blind I am.
You know what's helped me, Peter, with stuff like that, because I can be quite self-critical, is meditation apps where I'll listen to from self-critique to self-compassion, and there's workbooks that you can undertake and stuff like that, and that has really helped me massively, whereby rather than being that kind of perfectionist, I'm okay now if I mess things up, things go wrong, I don't care, as long as I know I'm doing my best, I'm trying my best, I'm compassionate towards myself, and it has a knock-on effect. If you can be compassionate towards yourself and lose that self-critique, I can find it easier to be compassionate towards other people as well. So that's something that's really helped me, because I've been one of them as well, a bit like yourself, where I'll pick up on the negative rather than the positive. And so that self-critique to self-compassion has really helped me recently.
In my, you know, imagination observatory, I would have a mentor, and I've had some good, you know, I've had some brilliant mentors. I've got some good mentors, but one sticks in my mind. One conversation sticks in my mind where somebody was congratulating me on a piece of work that I just delivered, and I said to him, "How could I improve on it?" And straight away he told me, and it was like, you know, thanks, brilliant, because that which was good next time is going to be awesome, because you've just given me. In Accrington, there's a coffee shop, and I won't mention the name of it unless they pay us in future to do that. And
Unless they send free cake.
But outside, you sit and have a coffee, and there's an overhang, a glass overhang, so if it rains, you don't get wet. And this overhang's held up by a lamppost, and when you sit on this side of that post, it just looks like a post, but when you sit on the other side, you see actually the post right at the bottom. It's got a funnel. It's also a drain pipe. It's got a dual function, but when you look at it from one angle, you don't realise that, and you would swear black and blue, it's just a post. But, you know, somebody sat on the other side would describe it as a drain pipe. It's a drain pipe, you know, and I can imagine the conversation. No, it's a post, because they're looking at it from different perspectives. And I know I can't always see the full picture. So if I wrap some people around me in this imagination observatory who can see, you know, different perspectives than mine, but I know good in the sense that there's agreement on what good is and what good looks like, and where we want to be. We're going in this same direction together, and we're in it shoulder to shoulder. Then that I would like that. I would like that.
I feel quite emotional with the whole.
You cry as well, Julie. Then I don't look like a fool, because I've already had my tea.
I am. I mean,
go on, join in. Can I just, and now I've got an anniversary today. It's 2 years ago today, the 30th of January 2019, I walked into rehab at Littledale Hall.
Well done, Lindsay.
I feel like I should burst into song. Unfortunately, I can't sing, so I won't bother.
What would you sing? What would you sing if you What would you sing,
Gloria
Lindsay,
Gaynor,
if you-
I Will Survive, or something like that, maybe.
I will survive.
Oh, I know. This Is Me. You know, like the show, like Greatest Showman. This is me, but
Oh,
without
yeah,
the without the beard. That woman has a beard, doesn't she? I won't bother with the beard.
So there'll be other people who also walked in around the same time. And I mean, I don't know off the top of my head what the data, the statistics are, but you're doing well. And surely there must be some unique characteristics on why you're doing so well. And I've got
Yeah.
a good idea on what they are. But if we're designing a system, and it's got to have
The ones who haven't survived, and why I mean survived, I mean I've lost 6 people have passed who I did treatment with. So, and a lot relapsed. There's not many of us left. But, and I'm not just saying it because I'm not getting paid to say it, I connected, as it were, with Red Rose Recovery and LUF. And I talk on a daily basis with like-minded people. And I remember my key worker saying, Lindsay, you are who you have it with. If you round people, and as Red Rose have done over the last year, have said, Lindsay, you're great, Lindsay, you're this, Lindsay, that, that sticks the same way as it did stick. People tell me I was shit, basically, and pathetic on a daily basis. That sticks. Red Rose do the opposite of that and say, Lindsay, you're a great person, you're an inspirational lady. I didn't get that. I'm starting to get it now, which is why I do this and why I love doing this.
Well, you're also involved in puzzle productions and
I am, yeah.
involved in it. And this week is series 8, and this is for the people that don't know, this is a piece of work that has been delivered brilliantly within lockdown, and it's creative, it's kept people connected, it's given them purpose, and it's just an innovative way to share your story. So because it's 28 minutes long, I think, you know, we're going to have to like draw this imagination observatory to a close, so I can then play that and share my screen and play that, and you guys can stay and watch it. You can watch it live, or, you know, stick around. But I've already seen it, so when I play it, I can go and have my tea, and you know, everyone else can watch it. So let's draw this to a close. Has anyone got any more imaginings? And then, I mean, Paula, what's the next step? I mean, this Imagination Observatory's come off the back of the Lex leadership, and you're part of the elders, you know, the design team in the Lex leaders. Me and Emma are part of that team also. This piece of work has come off the back of that. What's next with it?
Going to carry on and carry on. I think what's next, I think it's to keep thinking about the possibilities, keep ourselves looking forward into the possibilities for who we are, and also the systems that we work in. So not just how do we improve the drug system, how do we improve the world? And what I've heard tonight is all the things about values and love and like kindness and service and support. These are all the characteristics of the communities in which we want to live. And I think the point was made that sometimes we can't affect the national picture, but we can definitely affect the local picture. So I'm going to do what I can with it in terms of the influencing position I have down in London. Looking forward to the write-up, but looking forward to coming to more sessions where we sort of dare to dream about the world we want, so that we can start to make it happen.
Peter, can I just ask if it's of interest? I know you said at the start we could probably do a full session on this paper that I've written, and I know there's not enough time, and I don't want to do a full session on it, but I can certainly extract some salient points that match up to the Imagination Observatory and get them sent across to Peter and Paula. Peter, if you can send me Paula's address, or anybody else on this, because they are absolutely relevant, and they are fully researched points by myself, you know, from other people that are in the industry as well. And I think they could prove to be useful in terms of how we approach it. So more than happy to share bits of that information, you know, via email or whatever.
Brilliant. I'll just ask show of hands and I'll distribute all those contact details. Great.
Can I just say thank you, Paula? I mean, you know, it's really heartwarming that you're a bit closer to government than we are, in fairness. And you're here and you're absorbing all of this and you're fully engaged and taking it back with you, which is absolutely wonderful. But if there is people that are local that want to, you know, live the love, share the love, you know, Let's Be Friends is here. And I want your email address, Paula. I want to be feeding up to you. I want to be like sharing or learning with some of this, because, you know, this is a great opportunity for people that are in the community that really need it now. I mean, really do need it. So thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Please, that's so lovely. And yeah, please, Pete, just share my email address with everybody. It's really easy to get hold of me. I'm on Facebook. Just add me on Facebook, Paula Harriet. You know what I mean, like,
I think some of that imagination observatory is actually not in the future. It's in the here and now.
Connection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for everybody. Thank you, everybody. I've had a lovely time listening. And sorry I went on at the beginning.
Did Chris want to do any quick blast out of names before you play puzzle, Pete?
Yeah, but before we go on to that, I've got one last bit of imagination to throw in there, and it would be where we seek to identify where, you know, what people's skills are, not just what people's diagnosis is of their labour. You know, we will, this world, we would be all programmed to assess and help people realise what their God-given purpose is, what their skill is, what lights them up. And then we would say, you know what, I've got an opportunity for you to use that skill to help some other people. And that's to position people where they're happy and fulfilled. That would be my, because Willie, you know, I tell your story. Lots of people know you before they've ever met you, mate.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Lindsay, what was you saying? I mean,
No, I just didn't know. I've just said, Chris said he hasn't even kept in the chat. I think he's been enthralled. I didn't know if he wanted any.
I've just been so zoned into this. It's been brilliant. Brilliant to be part of. I've kept an eye on it. There's been plenty of love. There's not been many visions for the future from you guys, so it's not too late to put them out there so we can record them. And of course, if you're not watching it live, you can still put comments in there. But let's have your visions, yeah?
Yeah, and Alex Campbell said he's ringing you tonight. He's got tons of ideas. Alex, the lovely Alex from Walter Lyon House, is ringing you, Pete. So,
what a guy!
Pete, can I say one last thing?
Yeah.
Do you remember when I came on before and my daughter came and sang?
Oh.
Do you remember?
Now I don't remember who you are, Paul. I was thinking, I know she's been on, but I can't remember why.
Do you remember my daughter?
Yeah.
About to audition for
The Voice.
No, The Voice. That's right.
Yeah, so she got through on The Voice.
Wait,
to Will.i.am's team.
Brilliant! Oh my word!
She was on the telly last week or the week before. So yeah, so she's on to the next round. But she
What's
got
her
through.
name, Paula?
Kezia, Kezia.
Wow.
You can look up the clip on YouTube. So yeah,
I will do.
So you know, because she's a child that's been through a lot. Because her mum went to jail, and so we should be really proud that she's had the confidence to do that. So I'm really proud of her. This goes to show. So hey, in my imagination, then Kezia wins The Voice. Yeah.
Yes.
She wins!
Yes.
How do you search that? What do you look for?
You're on mute, Paula.
Oh yeah, you could play it now, Pete. Just quickly look for it. Kazia, the voice. It's only a 1 minute clip.
I saw her.
Kazia Sade, she sang.
Yeah.
Sade. Did you see her?
Yeah.
Have you found it, Pete?
I don't watch it, but I will look at that one.
Spell it.
Eh?
How do you spell the name?
Keza IA, and then put Sade, Sade. I think it comes
Which Sade song was it? Because I love Sade.
Your Love Is King.
Oh, brilliant.
Oh,
Best
yes,
song.
classic.
Oh no, Pete, play it if you
Brilliant.
can find it. Go on, we could just because she said, she had a hard time when growing up with me.
Lindsay, you said you wanted to sing. Maybe you should give us a rendition.
And hard to read.
There it is. I think that's it. Is that it?
Your Love Is King.
Yeah, go on.
What a great tune.
Oh, come on, here's our kiss.
Your love is king.
Is that your daughter? That's
Yeah.
I watched her. I saw her.
Never need to buy your kisses, ring, ring. Round and round and round in my head, touching the very parts of me, making my soul sing. Crying out for more. Your love is king. I'm coming on.
Come in.
See you making me dance. Your love is king. Round you in mine. Your love is king. Come on. Never need to buy your kiss. Ring, ring, ring. Round and round, touching the very heart of me, making my soul sing. Your love
Welcome to the virtual Spizza. Hit the ITV hub.
Wow. I sound just like that, Paula, when I sing, but I won't.
Amazing.
Just because, why I wanted to mention it? She came and sung one time on one of these Facebook Lives, didn't she?
You did, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
that's amazing.
Do you remember? And she was saying she was auditioning for it, so
that's incredible.
Yeah, and she's gone through a lot to get here. So
She's in it to win it.
yeah, but even if she doesn't, let's just say what a fabulous thing to dare to do that.
God, yeah. I think I'm brave coming on here.
Do you know what I mean? So I'm just proud of her for braving to do that and to sing. And she is a beautiful person, and we've managed to do a lot to repair our relationship. So we're in a good space.
Okay, well, I think it's just left for me then to say you guys have been amazing. I've enjoyed spending a couple of hours with you on a Saturday night. The community, as ever, is strong, and they're in them comments firing out the positive energy. Thank you guys. We will go over those comments and pull together a report to continue with this Imagination Observatory, and we'll continue to create opportunities for you to have a voice and express that voice in this space. Thank you for coming on, and you're welcome to stay on, but I'm going to go and make some tea now for Emma and the boys. We play the
and Pete, can you just mention, I've forgotten the guy's name, but I've been asked to remind the guy that's coming on about the knife crime next week.
How could I forget that? I mean,
it's a biggie. I know they're all a biggie, but it's a biggie. And can you remember his name? Glenn's messaged me earlier on.
Called is it JJ? Yeah, it's JJ, isn't it? I'm
His
sure.
brother
No,
was killed, wasn't he, in a knife crime, and he's coming on, and there's a big LUF next week.
I'm going to be in that space with Glenn.
Well, if you need any help, I'll jump in again. This is my new addiction, coming on the live LUF. It's a bit more healthy, isn't it?
Well, we've got a post up on the LUF Lounge, so have a look. There's, next week is going to be an amazing evening again. It's different, it's unique, and it's relevant. But more importantly, it's occupied, this space, by us. So, have you got any thoughts to leave the community with while I load up Puzzle Productions?
Is that just for us, that email, Hassan? Or do you want to put it in the comments?
I don't mind either. I don't mind. If anyone wants to email me to join the dual diagnosis services,
I'll put it in the comments now, Hassan. Thank you.
Will you put mine in as well, please, Lindsay?
Yeah, can you just put it in the chat box now, and I'll put that in.
It's just on the bottom of my screen there.
All right, yeah, will do.
Thank you.
thank you so much for inviting me. Really enjoyed today's session. Hope we can work together more and see each other more.
Hopefully. Thanks
Thank you,
so much.
Hassan.
You've touched me tonight, Hassan. That's been brilliant. Thanks so much.
I'll be in touch, mate. Keep doing it.
Thank you, Hassan. Thank you.
See you, Joey.
I'm going to the meeting now. Have a nice weekend.
Puzzle Productions, guys. Week 8. Enjoy it.
Hi, hon. Oh. I don't know what to say. I knew it was going to come. There's nobody else to blame but him. Don't you dare say that it's your fault. There is nobody else to blame but him. He got told and told and told, and he didn't listen. And this is what happens. Don't be worried about the house. Don't be worried about the kids. Now is the time for us to pull together. Look, if we all work together, it'll be okay. We'll get through it. At least if he's in there, he'll get some help, won't he? Yeah, look at it that way. He can't get any drink while he's in there, can he? Oh, God. Oh, come on, babe, take a deep breath. We need to all just stick together for this. Come on, we're not weak. We've all been living through this for ages. We can get through it. And now we haven't got to worry about him going out and what the hell he's up to. Yeah. What time is it now? I'm going to get ready. I'm going to come over. Come on, girl. We'll get it through together. We'll get through it. You know we will. You, me, Mike, when I bash him on the head.
He cares as well, babe. Don't ever think he doesn't. Now's the time to stick together. I know my nerves are gone. Bloody hell. It's my son's in prison, what do you expect? I know, but that's it. He's there, so we've just got you and the kids to worry about now. Can't do any worrying about him now, he's in there. Right, I'll see you as soon as I can. I'm getting ready now. Okay, tra.
Hey, Sheila. He's gone. Yes, they've took him up to prison. What am I going to do? What am I going to do, though? I don't know what's about the house. Well, how am I going to manage? I don't know what I'm going to say to the kids. No, especially our Leona. I can't help it, Barb. I don't know what I'm going to do. No, I wouldn't think they'd have a bar in bloody prison. I don't know. I just don't know what to even say. I don't know what to do. I can't help it, Sheila. I know. No, he's not. Well, he blamed me before. We didn't say that the other week, did he? It was my fault. Yeah, come, I'll put the kettle on. Oh, thanks, Sheila. Yeah, I don't want to be on my own. I don't know what to do. I really don't. Thanks. Yeah, thanks. See you in a bit.
What are we going to do? We're going to do? Claire hates me. I've messed it up with the grandkids. Our Teddy's away. Just want him back. Want me boy back. Want things back to normal. You have to help me, Sheila.
Oh, Mike. Oh, Mike, I feel the same way. I know, but we've got to keep strong. Come on. If this family doesn't pull together, it's going to fall apart. We're falling apart, been happening for years, and none of us have known as much. Oh, come on, keep us all together, hon. Please.
Right, I'll I'm going to be speaking. Look, I don't know. I don't know a lot of details yet, Pip. No, I don't know a lot of details yet. I haven't been there myself. Yeah, well, yeah, I'm going to go and visit him. I'm not sure. Would you want to go and see him? I don't know. I'll ring the school and let the school know. Don't be worrying about what's going to happen. I don't know myself. Don't you get upset. Yeah, Grandma's coming round. She's going to come round shortly. Actually, she's going to come round for a brew and we'll have a chat. Yeah, I don't know why. Why would you be bullied? Look, well, I'll speak to the school. Mum's going to have a word when Gran comes round, and we'll make some phone calls. Yeah. Okay. I'm still here, and Gran's still here. Okay. Okay. All right. Love you.
Hi, Mum. Oh, God, she's joking. What's he doing in prison? Oh, my, so this is what all this secretness has all been about. Right, okay. Oh, blooming heck. I can't believe this. How long is he going to be in prison for, Mum? Okay, well, that doesn't matter. I'll have to help you around that house and help do stuff with you, and we'll just have to stick together through this, yeah? And hopefully we'll get out sooner. Oh, Mum, I want my daddy to come home. Will I be able to come and see him? Can I go and see him? What about Grandma? How's Grandma been? How's Grandad? Oh, this is just not happening. Oh, for God, no. Right, okay, right, will you find out if I can go and see him, and then if I can come with you? But I'll help or do anything for you, Mum, promise you. Okay, I love you. I love you too, Mum.
Tips, are you alright? Do you need a listener or anything for your first night? Right. Right, don't be on your bell all night. No.
How did I get here?
Is that Mike? Yes, it's the police here. Can they come in, please? Thank you. So the reason why I'm here today is I'd like to put in some safety precautions for the next few weeks. So what I would like to do is just put outside your house an undercover police vehicle just for the next few weeks until things die down, because we do have the person who stabbed Terry in prison at the moment on remand. Would that be okay with yourselves?
Yeah, look, mate, yeah. I want to help you as much as I can. I really, really do. But, you know, our Terry's inside, you know. They're not in the same prison, are they? All right, okay. But will people be able to get to him in there? Okay, you're going to sort that out. What about Claire and the grandkids? Are you going to put a car outside my house? What about them? Right, you're going to have a family liaison officer and everything's going to be right. Okay. Okay, yeah. I'll have a word with Sheila and we'll come down to the station and we'll let you know whatever you want. All right, thank you very much. Hello? Yeah. I've been told to ring you. You called Inspire, aren't you? Yeah, I've got a massive problem. My whole family's falling apart. And
I need to give up drinking to try and get them back together. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I've been drinking for years now, and I'm struggling. I'm in my 60s, you know what I mean? I don't know if I can give up drinking. Oh, you have people around that age group, do you? Right. Okie dokie. Yeah. All right. 10 o'clock. Yeah, I'll be there in the morning, 10 o'clock. Thank you very much. Bye now.
Tibbs, you got a visit. Just get ready and I'll be back over to get you in 5. Right.
Hi, love. How have we got here, eh? How are you? You don't look good, do you? No. I don't know what to say. How's this happened, eh? How have we got like this? Sat here across the table. What they treating you like? What? You sharing a cell and that? Yeah. Oh, he sounds like a character. What's the food? Are they feeding you up? But you don't get steak pie like mine. I don't know. No, Leona was asking me the other day about coming to see you and that. I've just told her. Yeah, she's upset obviously, but yeah, your mum come round. She's obviously upset. I'm upset. Yeah, you'll need to see if, I don't know what the answer is, Terry. This can't go on. You know, it's the help you can get while you're in here. Can we move on from this or what? I don't know. I don't know what you want to do. I don't know where I am at the moment. No. I don't know. I don't know what to even say to our Leona. To let her to come in. What do you want to do? Yeah. Yeah, I think your mum wants to come in as well, yeah. Yeah. How long do you get? How long do you get in here?
Hi, Claire. Don't know. Yeah, I'm alright. Just getting used to being in here. Just got people coming to my cell like all the time, want tobacco, want this, want that. But I don't know, Claire. It's my fault. How are they treating me? Like royalty. Yeah. 3 meals a day. Get a shower, get exercise. Yeah, it's brilliant. Bad mate. Don't know, he's just some scouser. He's pretty funny, but he's pretty scary as well. Steak pie? I ain't gonna get steak pie, am I? Food in here, loves.
It's awful. Leona. Look, she wants to see me. Is she okay? You seen Mum? Claire, I've not even asked about help yet. I don't know. I don't know, Claire. I don't really want to see Leona at the minute, sweetheart. I need to get my head around this. You know, I'm going to be in here for the next 3 years, so... You can tell my mum to come. I think we've got about another half an hour left. Yeah.
Sweetheart, not come with that in a while. Yeah, you're probably right about Leona, but I don't know what to say to her, you know what I mean, Terry? Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I'll have a word with you. Your mum's been a gem, you know what I mean? Your mum's been a gem. I don't know what I'd have done without her. Yeah, I went round for a brew the other day and she said about she's got these leaflet things they'd given her in hospital, and there was, I can't remember all the names. Inspire, I think, was one. And Red Rose Recovery or something like that, I think it was called. Yeah, so I don't know if they do stuff like that in here. I know it's early days and stuff, and I know what your sentence was, but you know what I mean? I don't think you'll do 3 years, will you? I don't know. I just want to know you want things to change. Are we going to have a life together, or I think the shock when you got stabbed, you know, it scared the shit out of me. You know, I want things to work, Terry, but I can't go on like this. It's tearing me apart, you know what I mean? It's tearing me apart, Terry, and I want us to be together, but not if it's like this. If you're willing to help and get help, if we can arrange it, you know what I mean? Then if that's what you want to do, then I'll be here when you come out. Yeah. I'll bring your mum in. Your mum's gonna be. I'm gonna be spending a lot of time with your mum, I think. I need some support. I need some help. I'll see if I can get in contact with one of these people and see what the crack is. See if me and your mum can get some help as well. You know, and get some advice around our Leone and that. Yeah. Yeah, I'll have a word with them before I go out and see what the visiting times, and see if I can fend Leona off till we get a bit more info. Yeah. All right, babe. Yeah, I love you.
Because you are my sweetheart, Claire. Mum, yeah. She's an angel. I love her. Can't believe all the stuff that I've put her through, you know. Yeah. drug and alcohol services. All right. I'll look, Claire, okay? I'll look. I do want to do something about it, okay? I do want to do something about it. I want to change, Claire. I want to be with you. Yeah, I know. Claire, stop crying. Claire, stop crying, because you're going to make me cry. Claire, I cannot cry in here. I can't cry. Stop it. You don't get it. I can't show vulnerability in here. Please just bring my mum here. I need to see my mum, yeah? I'm so sorry, Claire, for everything. I love you too, sweetheart. Yeah.
Right, time now, please. Could everyone start saying
Are you having a
goodbye?
laugh?
Thank you.
Right, all right, miss. Right, Claire. I'll speak to you soon. Okay. Love you. Bye.
Hi guys, Chris here, aka Mike from Puzzle Productions. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Get liking and sharing. Also, if you go onto YouTube and go onto the Puzzle Productions, you can like and share on there and subscribe. Subscribe's cost you nothing, it just means you'll get a notification to let you know when the next episode's been put out. Yeah, it was quite emotional that, so if anybody has got any problems regarding that storyline or needs any help with their addiction or their mental health or anything, just go onto our webpage. It's www.redroserecovery.org.uk. Go on there and become a member, and a member of our team will get back to you as soon as we can. Okay, take care guys, peace and love.
It would just say thank you guys and good night, yeah?
That's us. I don't know if it'll stay live. We're still live streaming. Chris, we could get away with absolutely anything right now.
Yeah, but me and you on here, I think we should just close it now.
Yeah. Well, we'll close it down. So you might be just sort of left with a picture of you all night. You do realise that, because if Pete's having his tea, we're going to be left with just your picture live on Facebook until Pete shuts it down.
Right, no, that's fine by me.
Right, well, I'll leave and you leave. But
Yeah.
I'm pleased it's a picture of you and not me.
Make the most of your weekend, guys. Take care.
Peace out, people. Thanks for watching.
Well, that's it. That's the live LUF Lounge. Someone's phoning me now to tell me it's over. Hello. Ah, you're brilliant. Okay, I'll finish the live stream then. You were great tonight. Cheers, mate. Speak to you soon. Bye bye. So the guys have done great. I think it's brilliant to be a part of this community. And let's just see how many people are still on. There's still 7 of you tuned in. it's like you can't get enough of it. Well, say hi in the comments if you're still there. Good night and God bless. It's 5 of you. So go and put your feet up. I'm going to go have a brew with Emma, and we are going to feedback. What a great day, what a great imagination observatory. What a great privilege it is to be a part of this community. Take care, stay blessed, and good night. And don't forget to tune in next week because it's going to be amazing.